What's good, everybody? Welcome to the 7th episode of the Anthem KE podcast, where our goal is to transform you into the best version of yourself. Guys, over the past few episodes, we talked about several different topics, but we haven't spoken about a very important one, and that is the topic of entrepreneurship, being your own boss and the values and skills you need to become one. So I could not talk about this topic without bringing on my man, Nate McFarlane, also known as Edunates. What's up, bro?
Hey man, how's it going? All good?
All good, bro. How are you?
Yeah, busy. Trying to make things happen.
Yeah, we're happy to have you on, man. Yeah, I'm familiar with who you are, but for the people that aren't familiar, give us a little intro on who you are and the content you make on TikTok.
I'm Nathan, or Nate for short. My handle is Edunates, kind of taking that as educating people. And I am an entrepreneur, if you want to define it as that. So I have my own business. I'm building a financial technology application, which has the ability to provide content and educate people and aggregate specific services in your financial lifestyle. So on top of that, I have a marketing company, which links into the technology company that I'm building. So I work a lot in food and beverage and hospitality in the marketing company. And I've worked in the UAE, mainly in financial services for the last 7 years. Before that, I worked in a technology company. I started a technology company, which is now the 6th fastest growing technology company in the UK. Technology startup. And so realistically, my background is technology, finance, and marketing, which is where we are now. So I've got my fingers in lots of pies. It's a slog right now. Very, very, very difficult slog.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. When did you realize that you wanted to become an entrepreneur and, not just get a job your whole life like everybody else?
Okay, so probably your viewers are quite young. So my first job, nearly 20 years ago now, was in Burger King. That was my first job when I was 16 years old. My first job was Burger King. I then wanted to work in sports, and I was into fitness and stuff. So I worked in leisure centers, gyms, so between the ages of 18 and 22. Then I moved to London, and at that point I was like, no, I want to start my own thing. So at 23, I started my own company, and I started a fitness agency in London. I did that until I was for 2 years. Made a ton of mistakes, got a load of things wrong, but learned from it. And then then I obviously moved into technology, and in particular financial technology. And I think at that point I was working with very, very smart people, extremely smart people. I'd found myself moving from, at the age of 24, 25 in an industry completely different. And basically these smart people just saying, we want you to come and work with us because we essentially think you have the skill set. And I did that, and I moved into that. And because of that, I saw, being surrounded by other people, I realized, these people were really, really smart, but they didn't have my skill set. The reason why they wanted me is because of the skill set that I had. They believed I was a fantastic salesperson and an exemplary person that can market themselves in a specific way, which obviously from their perspective, it was to market the product that we were building. For whatever reason, that didn't come to fruition at the time. So I decided to come to Dubai. And when I was working in the financial sales, I realized that it just wasn't good enough. The products that were being sold and the way it was being done was never putting the consumer first. And to me, with my motto of treat people how you want to be treated, it just didn't work for that. So at that point, I was like, okay, I've set up a business before. I've worked in financial technology before. I can see what's happening in financial services here, and I'm like, I do not like it. I do not. It's not fair. People are just here to make money off people, and they're not putting people first. I don't like that. That really pees me off a treat. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start something myself and improve financial services. So I set myself this goal of I want to turn financial services from a sales-driven proposition, which is basically sell whatever you can to make money, to a service-based proposition where the consumer is put first, no matter what. At the moment, that doesn't exist in my mind in this market. Or there are a few players that are now coming into the financial technology space that are tending to put the consumer slightly ahead than what they were before, but not to the point where actually, no, this is the 21st century city. This deserves and people should deserve 21st century services. So to have that big goal, there's no way that I was going to achieve that by working for another company.
Yeah.
I got to a point where, you know what? I know I have a certain skill set. And this is something you really need to think about. And everyone that's watching here, right? The chances are the people that are watching, you are part of the 1% of the world.
No way.
Right? When I say,
what do you mean by that?
Part of the 1% of the world, you got a roof over your head, you got food in your tummy, you live in a developed market which provides you with some level of decent income and opportunity to work. The majority of the world doesn't.
And all that stuff.
Right? So let's think about that for a second, right? If you've got a skill set, you've got a level of education, you live in a developed market, you're already in a great position yourself. You have a duty as a person to go out and struggle for others.
I love that.
Right?
Yeah.
You've got a duty to struggle for others. Your life, just because you were born in the right country, born with the right skill sets, born with the level of education, born into a certain level of capacity of money, doesn't mean you cruise through life because of it at your own greed and at your own greed and your own leisure. Excuse me, that's BS.
Yeah.
Right? If you're actually really true to yourself, if you really, really are a person who says, I want to treat people how I want to be treated, and I accept that I have a certain level of capacity, I have a certain level of grit and determination, which is required, I have a certain level of education, I have a certain level of understanding, well, then I've got to go out there and do what's right for people. I have to take the lead to improve what's right for people in whatever given market there is. Now, for me, I have massive aspirations. I don't believe this is the only market I'm going to work in. For me, it's worldwide thought process. If I'm put in that position and I'm in that 1%, then I have a duty as one of that 1% to be able to make things better for other people because I have all the attributes to do it. If I'm not doing it, I'm losing. The only way you can physically win in this world, if you actually do that point and go to that point where you say, I'm going to treat people how I want to be treated. And I know I have all these skill sets to do it. And I have the ability to sacrifice myself away from my own personal greed to give for others.
Yeah.
And that's why I do it.
That's amazing.
If you actually think about it. Like, if you are put in that position and you know you're better off than 99% of the world, what are you going to do? You're going to just choose to be greedy and just, live a comfortable life. Well, to be honest, I'm sorry. You're never going to win.
That's selfish.
It's selfish. It is selfish. But the crazy thing is, 99.9% of people will do exactly that.
Yeah.
Because they don't challenge their mind enough to say, you know what? I'm grateful. I am grateful to be born in a country that provides me with this. I am grateful to have an education which provides me with this. I am grateful that I've given this. They don't ever say, do you know what? 99% of the world doesn't have that. Do I just keep it for myself and not struggle and cruise through life? Or do I actually go out there and go and help people? and do something to actually help people and build something to actually help people. You know, the unfortunate thing about society is people are selfish. They don't want to say they're selfish. They might not have even entered the level in their mind to think about that, right? They might not even thought, oh yeah, but actually, you know, I'm grateful and I have gratitude for all these things. And I know because I've got all these things, you know, I should give back in some way. Well, how do you do that, right? It just happens at certain points. Most people aren't willing to push through boundaries and barriers to improve things for other people, because they'll get to a point where they'll say, I want to protect myself.
So winning, for you, winning is if you helping someone. It's not making money. It's not, you know, becoming famous or anything like that. It's about helping people. You've helped someone. That's
money is just simply fuel for a process. If you go out and build something that changes people's lives for the better, and you're right in what you're doing, and you build something and you turn out to be right in that particular concept, that what you've built to improve people's lives is right and it's good, then you'll make money anyway. It absolutely baffles me, people that want to make quick money, because all they're doing is just self-gratifying themselves. And anything in this world, anything that comes easy in this world is not worth it. And anyone that takes quick money for themselves over actually putting someone else first is losing every time. I don't care if someone sat out there with a Lamborghini and a big 6-bedroom house. If they're not treating people first, internally, they know they are. So they're still showing off their Lamborghinis and their 6-bedroom houses to impress other people. They still haven't reached a level of enlightenment in their mind to think, oh, actually, you know what? It's not about all these external things. It's actually about human beings as a person, human beings as people, and how actually people that have that advantage in life help those ones that aren't as advantaged.
Wow. I never really thought about it like that. I always because business and economics, you just think money. That's all you think about when you first hear those words. But then if you look deeper into it, you're affecting so many people through your actions. And if you're affecting them in a positive way, then that's the win. That's what you're looking for.
That's the win. That's the win. When I die in hopefully 50 years time, right? I'll be 35 now, so let's think hopefully when I'm 85, say, well, let's get to 100 in 65 years time. Am I going to get anywhere by having a ton of money in the bank account and a Lamborghini sat on my driveway? No, of course you're not.
Yeah.
But if I'm on my deathbed and I know I've improved 1 billion people's lives for the better, who's winning?
Yeah, you're winning. That legacy is carrying on, or not really. That impact is staying.
Exactly. And the thing is, what people really struggle with, and I understand this, right, is struggle. They struggle with the struggle, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're born into a country that is educated, that has everything realistically on a silver platter, that you have everything there for you, you are actually far weaker than the person that has nothing.
Because you don't learn the lessons, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You don't know those lessons. You don't know those struggles. So all you want to do every time is go back to comfort. So therefore, you don't push yourself to that level. And in turn, by not pushing yourself to that level, you're doing a disservice to the 99% of the world that doesn't have your privileges from the word go.
Yeah. Wow.
That just shows your mind isn't strong enough to say, well, you know what, I am grateful for what I've got, and I'm willing to struggle to improve things for the better because I am the leader, right? In theory, anyone that's born into a country that provides them with everything should be leaders for the rest of the 99% of the world. But we're not, for whatever reason. And that evolves around greed, that evolves around comfort, that evolves around mentality, that evolves around society telling us this is what it should be when it's not. It evolves around a lot of BS, right? In a nutshell. And society says that, oh, look at this person with the Lamborghini, look at this person with that. Why? What are you getting out of that? Honestly, why? What are you getting out of it? I'll tell you what you're getting out of it. You're getting your own self-gratification to show off to other people. To me, I'm sorry, but that is not something that I want to be. You are not winning there, my friends. You're not winning at all. It just shows that you don't have your own mindset in the right place to be the leader that people need in this world. All right? You need someone that's selfless, that understands the level of what is required to make things move forward. And that is being selfless. That's having that grit, having that determination, and putting others first before yourself. But if you're smart about it and you create something which does make a difference for a lot of people, you'll suddenly find that you've made a lot of money anyway. All right.
Yeah.
Now it's up to you to what you do with that money. For me, right, in realistic terms, why would I ever need a sports car? Unless I'm driving it around a track. I like racing, I like Formula 1. Why would I need a sports car? Don't need it. Why the hell would I ever need a 7 or 8 bedroom house when I'm a single guy? Don't need it. Right?
Yeah.
Why? The only reason you're doing it is for your own excessive comfort, not comfort, excessive comfort, and to show off to other people.
And you know, that's actually not good for you. Like, it's okay every once in a while, like, you know, some excessive comfort, like you go to a hotel one day, but like for the rest of your life, excessive comfort is dangerous.
Absolutely, because it makes you weak.
100%.
Completely and utterly weak. So take out that excessive comfort. Let's say, no, I have a nice room, live in a hotel. That's already better off than, I'm already better off than 99% of the world by doing that, by living that life, right? But I have my one room. That's all I need, right? I can get A to B however I have enough money to do that. If I want to take 3 holidays a year, I can do that. I could be quite happily a billionaire and just have that process in my life, knowing that everything else I'm doing is having an impact on millions or hundreds of millions or billions of people around the world based on the business that I built. That to me is legacy. That to me is treating people how you want to be treated. That to me, and most importantly to me, is no one can beat me. Because I'm always winning, because I'm always putting people first. So it doesn't matter, you know, you might be sat there with a bigger bank account than me now. You might be sat there with your Lamborghini or your Ferrari or whatever it is right now. But my friend, I'm sorry, I'm already doing things the right way, so I'm already winning. All that happens is you don't have the capacity to be able to do what's right by people. So that means you'll either take shortcuts to make you quick money, and or you'll use that money to show off to other people. Yeah. So when you see all these people on Instagram, you know, and on Facebook and on whatever, and they showing off these things, when you see that Lamborghini or you see those designer clothes, that, my friend, is not money, that is insecurity.
So you think it all stems from like they care about what people think. They want to be seen as something they're really not.
No, it's not about what they're really not. They want to make people believe that they are. Look at me, I'm better than you.
Ah, the arrogance.
Look at me, I've done this. Look at me, I've got this. Actually, all it is, 9 times out of 10, is insecurity in their own self.
Wow. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. So going back to the first question, why did you start entrepreneurship? Because if I've just told you all that whole principle has just told you, given the exact answer, how many people actually have that mindset? If I'm working in a company that was someone that doesn't have that mindset, then I'm not working in the right company. Therefore, I have to have my own. I love that. Yeah. So it's all about the good intention. It's all about making a change. And you can't make a change if you work for someone else with what you want to do.
But, you know, don't think about changing one person's life or 100 people's life by making a ton of money off them. Think about changing a billion people's lives, and how you're going to do that. And you got to understand that means committing a lot of your life to it. That means you've got to be ridiculously committed. And most people, unfortunately, aren't. Yeah.
So what advice would you give to someone that, you know, is quite young, that is dreaming about having their own business or being an entrepreneur, what are 3 things you would advise them to do?
Don't chase money.
Okay.
Look to learn from people with good intentions, and learn how to sell, because this is the problem. A lot of people learn how to sell for their own greed and good, right, to make as much money for themselves. Selling in this society and the way it works is important because you need to be able to ascertain, you need to be able to build a business. That's the way the system works. If you can't sell, you can't do anything, right? For me, it's about building a product to sell, because the product needs to reach 1 billion people. So if you look for people with the right intentions and the right ways of working in business and learn how to sell, that have that combination of treat people how you want to be treated and understand how to build something and sell something that, the skill set of having to sell, then you're on the right track.
So, like, let's say a starting entrepreneur, like, he shouldn't be chasing money. So, like, but in the beginning, though, like, would you argue that a starting entrepreneur would need to make some money, like, to build something bigger?
That's why he needs to sell.
Yeah, okay.
You need to learn how to sell. So you need to learn how to sell. You need to know. I made this mistake so many times that I've always focused on building the product, pivoting, so on and so forth. But cash flow is king, right? If you don't have the money coming in this world, it makes it a lot more harder for you. So if you learn how to sell, and you consistently doing that, then obviously that's bringing in the income to build the greater goal.
Yeah. Nate, man, I saw you on your YouTube channel. You spoke about procrastination, and procrastination is one of the biggest killers of success. And many people struggle with it. Did you used to struggle with it? I think you said that on your YouTube channel. And for the people that are struggling with it, how can they overcome procrastination?
Procrastination directly links to your own confidence in getting things done. I feel like when on this journey of entrepreneurship, particularly for me, I say these things now like I've known them for years. I haven't. I've learned more. I would say I've learned more in the last 3 years than I did in the last 20. Largely because I'm older. I think I've got to a point in my life where I understand what I'm doing wrong, and because I'm so focused on wanting to achieve what I want to achieve, I focus on making sure I get a solution to each of those problems that I face. So procrastination for me is simply out and out confidence in what you're doing. You're worried about the result that you're going to get when you do something, when you don't need to worry about it. Just get on with it. And then with the results poor when it comes in, so what? You'll find a solution to that problem as well. Most of the time actually is when you're procrastinating on something, the answer you're going to get is, what's the worst that can actually happen? And 9 times out of 10, it'll be probably, you just get a no. So what then? Your procrastination is the fear of rejection. Okay, well, you need to get over that as well. What's there to be worried about being rejected for?
How does somebody get over the fear of rejection? Because that's a really big thing as well.
Yeah, well, obviously when you're younger, you're not as confident. That's just naturally the way it is, because there's people that are older, there's more experience they've seen in the world. So you tend to be more scared of rejection when you're younger, as a generalization. Some people are scared of rejection forever and they never grow because of it. I've always told myself is, what is the worst that can happen? And if you don't try, you will never know. And if you will never know, it will just be a barrier, this invisible barrier that stops you from doing it because you're scared of rejection. Well, if you walk into the barrier, 9 times out of 10, you'll just walk straight through it, right? Because there was never anything to be worried about.
The resistance is in your head. That's what you're trying to say.
The resistance is in your head. So it's all through up here and how mentally strong you are within your mind.
Wow. Yeah. Nate, man, you said entrepreneurship, grit, and resilience, very important qualities. Do you think people are born with that, or do you think it can be developed like a muscle?
Everyone can be developed. Everyone can be trained. Everyone can learn. You know, for me, it's like, I'll use the example, one of my favorite footballer, Cristiano Ronaldo. Was Cristiano Ronaldo the player he is now when he was 18 years old?
No,
No. Why?
because he trained and he practiced and he got better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What else?
he went through all the experiences that made him learn lessons.
Yeah. So you would say when he was 18, he wasn't a leader, but by the time he was 26, 27, or now, he's a definitive leader, right? So in your lifetime, as you continue to pursue what you are good at and you continue to keep moving forward in your chosen field, you'll grow as a person. Just like, look at David Beckham, right? David Beckham used to be a footballer. Now he owns a football club, right?
Yeah.
And he's got all these brands and all these things. You grow in time. And everything realistically where you could become in life is all driven by what you do. If you always put this barrier in place that you don't want to go any further, then you'll only stay there. If you want to look at it as entrepreneurship, to be able to, you know, entrepreneurship is you have the ability to change one person's life, 10 people's lives, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million, 100 million, a billion. It's just up to you how far you want to go, who you want to be, what you want to achieve, right? So, you know, the person that wants to change one person's life is probably not going to be an entrepreneur. Even 100 people's life, probably not going to be an entrepreneur. But when you start going into the thousands or the millions, definitely an entrepreneur. If you go to a billions, then you're in a very select few amount of people in this world. Now, naturally, to get to that, you look at Jeff Bezos. Amazon was losing money for like 20 years, man. Right? 20 years. That guy in his mind was like, no, this is where we're going to take it. Now he's gone to the bloody space, right? That shows. And you see an interview from him 20 years ago saying, I would like to go to space. And he did it, right? He did it. People laughed at him. Why? Because those people didn't have the willpower, the tenacity, the grit, the determination to be able to do that. They thought they laughed it off. The people that change this world for the better are the ones that are willing to go further. Where most people stay where they are because they've got their own comfort, their own greed. Comfort and greed are very close together, by the way. They're very closely situated, right? Very closely situated things. You know, I like to have a comfortable life. So you're greedy then? No, I'm not greedy. Well, yes, you are, because you want this comfortable life. You don't want to pursue to help others, which might mean that you have discomfort. So you're greedy in the fact that you like your own personal comfort.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's human nature. And it's about defying that human nature to know what's actually right in our minds. Because people know being greedy is wrong. We all know it, right? Everyone knows it. It's inbuilt in human nature that it's wrong, right? Whether that's come from our religious teachings or actually just humanity as it is ourselves. Our mind tells us we should share. And if we have the ability to help people, we help people. If you see a crying baby sat in the street on its own, do you help it or do you just leave it there?
Yeah, help it.
Why?
Because that's the right thing to do, like you said, like.
Right? Because you can see that it's help, because you can see the baby is helpless.
Yeah.
Right? Now, let's say the baby's in the street, right? And it's about to be run over by a truck. Do you run to try and get it out of the way of the truck?
Yeah, but the question is, would my life be in danger?
Okay. All right. So now let's go one step further. Let's say the truck's a little bit further away. There is an element of danger, an element of discomfort, but the odds are telling you you can get there before you.
Yeah, I would definitely save the baby.
Right. Okay. So now we're looking at degrees. of
I can see you
difficulty,
getting
right?
closer to like, like,
Degrees of difficulty, degrees of discomfort.
yeah,
You know that the right thing to do is to help that baby because they're helpless.
yeah,
But people in this world, if you have a certain skill set, you have a certain way of thinking, and you have a certain ability to help people in some way, they are helpless in some way. But just what happens 9 times out of 10 is because they're not helpless enough. You just keep the
yeah.
comfort for yourself. That is actually against human thinking, because society is driven to think about ourselves and our own greed and our own comfort before thinking of others. That is wrong. That's what society's taught us. That is wrong. Our head tells us that's wrong, but yet the majority of people do it.
Wow. Yeah, it's true. What do you think that is? Do you think that's because of like social media or just the way like people are nowadays?
Yeah, it's society.
Yeah.
If you go throughout history, there's always people that have been greedy and for their own reasonings. I think that's always going to happen. People are going to have, are always going to think of themselves. You go throughout history, there's people that are good and there's people that are bad. There's people that are greedy. There's people that aren't. But if you really look at it deep down, you really think about it, if you really analyze it, the people, the world that should be and the world that we would want is where everyone helped each other.
Yeah.
It's just at the end of the day, as an entrepreneur, for me, I realize I have a skill set where I can lead others, let's call it lead others out into battle to improve things for other people. I'm just one part. I'm one part of a humongous jigsaw puzzle. If the easy way to put it is, there's a jigsaw puzzle, and every person in it is a jigsaw puzzle. I just put the pieces together. All right. Most people don't have the grit, the determination, the willpower, the ability to put others before themselves to put those pieces together.
I love how you put it. That was very, very cool. Nate, man, I asked this question to almost everybody I interviewed. I'm going to give you 5 words, and you can only pick 3 to keep with you, okay?
Yeah.
Like you take with you in your life. Number 1 is power. Number 2 is money. Number 3 is health. Number 4 is love. And number 5 is knowledge.
So what, I can only take 3?
You can only take 3. What 3 are you picking?
Okay, say them again.
Yeah, so power.
Yeah.
Yeah, money, health, love, and knowledge.
Okay. This is a very, very simple but complex question.
Okay, I want to hear.
The real answer everyone's going to say here is health, knowledge, and love, right? That's all that we need.
Yeah.
Right? In an ideal world, that is exactly what we require, right? But going on the conversation that we've just had, right?
Yeah.
And realizing that you need people at the top with the best intentions, you need power, money, and knowledge.
So, oh my God! So you're going back to that selflessness. Like you're gonna sacrifice your health and your love, right, to help other people and make them have the health and the love.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
Because at the end of the day, if you really have got the best intentions to change things for the better, you've got to make sacrifices. Of course, I would love to have a life where it's all about love, being healthy, and having the knowledge of understanding how the world works. That is the best case scenario. But I've taken on a project in my life where I say, you know what? No, the world doesn't. I do not want these scumbags there's so many people, scumbags, treating people so wrongly, impacting their lives for the worse. So many. I'm not going to let them win. I'm going to not let them have the power to do so. So I'm the one that's going to have to take that power, which in turn, you need to understand the fuel that you require is money, okay, to be able to build it, not for myself, but for the people, and ensure that I have the knowledge to do so. It's funny. I met this really, really well-known entrepreneur in Dubai. I actually great respect for him, to be honest. He's doing very, very well on social media. And he said, Nathan, you're like the Robin Hood.
Make your life like Robin Hood?
Robin Hood. You took from the rich to give to the poor. Robin Hood took from the rich to give to the poor.
Yeah, so right? He's saying that's good or bad?
No, it's a good thing. Of course it is a good thing. Robin Hood is 100% a good thing.
Okay,
right?
see, this is the thing. So you're okay with okay, but that's stealing though. Like, okay, they're both good and bad.
Is it?
Oh no, okay, yeah. So Robin Hood stole from the rich. He didn't take from them. He stole it. Like he stole from
So then what's the definition of stealing? Our entire financial system works on stealing, right? It's
just like taking without their permission.
Unfortunately, banks are taking without your permission, and financial institutions and everything's taken without your permission.
Ouch.
Do what's right, right?
Yeah.
Do what's right. Do what's right. To do that, you've got to take a lifelong goal to be able to change the system in some capacity so you can have an impact for the better.
Yeah.
Right. And when you talk, and it depends what you define as take it from the rich, give it to the poor.
Yeah.
If I'm just giving knowledge, is that taking from the rich, giving to the poor?
No.
It is. But do people define giving knowledge as a wrong thing? No. I'm not saying I'm stealing anything. I'm just providing knowledge to people that don't know it so that they can make more informed decisions. So
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, right? So it's like
people that are taking advantage of people for their own greed can't do it.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Nate, this is a question that I like to, end off the podcast on. What's one message, like the whole world is watching you right now, Nate? All right, imagine the whole world is watching you. What's one message that you would tell everybody?
Treat people how you want to be treated.
That's it, yeah?
If you follow, I'll give you that. I've got two ways, two things you can do with life, right?
Yeah.
First thing, you can do whatever you want. Anything in this world, you can do what you want. That's crazy, right? Because that way you go rob a bank and do whatever, right? Number two, you can, as long as you use the principles of number two, you can do anything in number one. Treat people how you want to be treated. If you treat people how you want to be treated in this world, and you always follow those principles and just that and that law alone, everything else you can do. If you get to a point when you're about to do something where it's breaking that rule, then you can't do it.
Yeah.
Everything else, you can do whatever you want to do.
So you're moving ethically. Like you're doing
time.
Yeah.
Every time. And if you do that, you can't lose. You can't lose, because at some point, the people that don't work under those principles will get caught out. Particularly in today's 21st century social media driven environment, because information is readily available. It's been readily available on Wikipedia for God knows how long. Social media, particularly in the last couple of years, particularly with TikTok, actually, is opening up information to people on the way things should work in a way where people want to engage in it. That's the big difference between the 21st century TikTok and the 21st century Wikipedia. People aren't bothered to go on Wikipedia and find out things because it's not engaging enough for them to understand it. They get bored after reading 3 lines of the text. If you've got a way of being able to engage with someone you're dealing with a human being, you're interacting with a human being who they can see, I can see this person has good intentions. I could quite happily have a conversation in real life with this person because I think actually they're the kind of person that I would either want to learn from or actually enjoy to be around because they share the same principles as me. And then you throw that interaction element out where you're providing that value to people, and suddenly people are learning things they otherwise wouldn't have learned. Your generation, by an absolute country mile, will be the smartest of all time, because you are constantly being fed information and education. There's also an argument going one step further. Why is all the world why are we feeling this shift in the world? Why is the world needing to change? Why is, all these things happening? There's this digitalization, there's all these issues with COVID. There's a number of different reasons, but one of those reasons is the next generation is far too smart for the last generation.
Wow. Yeah. See, now that's like a moment where my mind just stopped for a second. It's like, that's hard to.
The thing is, you don't know it yet.
Yeah.
Right?
But wait, but what do you mean by that? Because the next generation, like my age, aren't doing that much yet, right? We're still in the learning stage.
Yeah, but but the world needs to act before that happens, right? The smartest people in the world need to protect their position.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now you don't even know it, but you are open to so much information in a society where the generation older than my generation aren't accepted to. The only thing they have is experience, and they're going to want to, and the world needs to protect their position in that way. There's going to be a lot of interesting things that happen with the financial system in the next 10 years, and that evolves around how essentially the older generation from mine and potentially some level of my generation can no longer take advantage of the system the way they used to. That's through technology, that's through social media, that's through a number of different economical factors that can't be supported for much longer. So there's definitely an element of the changes that are required due to the fact that your generation is going to be that smart. Too many people are going to be that smart that you need to be controlled.
Yeah, and I'm sure we can go on a whole
conversation. We can go for hours.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of so many different ways they're controlling us, But you're right, technology is slowly preventing corruption, and it's like.
Well, whenever there's anything new, it also as we've established already. Whenever there's anything that's new, it opens up opportunities and threats, right? And there's always, just like, for example, cryptocurrency right now, it's opened up opportunities, which are great opportunities for the greater good of people, but yet you're still getting the crooks that are robbing people, right? So that, unfortunately, that's just the way the world works. And it's about getting the people that are building the world for the better, that do have the best intentions, to the forefront of society.
Yeah, put the good people in charge, like you said, earlier, with the money and power. You put the good people in charge, and then
exactly. Like a monarchy, for example.
Yeah.
You know why monarchies don't work? Monarchy, as in a complete society where one person rules all.
Yeah.
Is that you could have the most amazing king that had all the good intentions in the world, right? They're the best intentions to run society, but his son might not.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So, wow. It's like, so a democracy is the way, it should, that's the fair way, because people can decide if someone's good or bad, has good or bad intentions. But even though, people could be mistaken, because who knows what their intentions are,
Yeah, you don't know. It's intentions are very difficult. I feel like when you meet someone, you could, within the first few seconds of meeting someone, you feel, in your mind, you've got a good gauge of who that person is. But true intentions only come back out after months and months and years to be able to truly say who that person really is, because time always tells in the end. I've had situations in business where I had a meeting with, I was kind of a boss at the time, and for whatever reason, I didn't express what I was trying to express in the right way at that point in time. And that completely changed his perception of me at that moment, from what he thought I was to what he thought I was at that point. He was completely wrong, right? It was completely wrong. And time has shown that. But nevertheless, at certain points in time, when you get things wrong, people are going to make different judgments of you, right? The only way that you can override judgments is to be consistent in what you do over a period of time. And time always tells in the end.
Wow, that's I think that's an amazing way to like end it, you know. And it's been a long time, man. We've been talking for a while, so I'm happy to have had this conversation with you, bro.
Mate, I'm glad that you're very motivating for the younger generation, and you keep doing what you're doing, mate. You've got a very, very bright future ahead of you if you keep the attitude that you have.
Thank you, man. Yeah, we're not gonna stop, man. And you too, I see you doing big things. Like, but that's, you know, you're busy, you're getting stuff done. All the values we just learned about you, man. Like that's not an ordinary person. That's someone that is, you know, on the road to greatness. So, yeah, man, keep it up too. We're gonna end the recording now. Thank you all for watching the podcast and supporting us. Hit the subscribe button. We have big plans for this podcast. So if you're here now, you're here early. So we support it. Comment below if you've watched to the end. And yeah, like I said, hit the subscribe. Nate's links are going to be in the description. His TikTok, his Instagram, his YouTube channel. Go check him out. I think you have a podcast as well.
I did, but to be honest, I've not been doing it recently. It will be coming back in line with the launch of the technology that I'm building.
Amazing. Well, I can't wait for that. Go check Nate out. Go check our Instagrams out, the podcast and my Instagram and the TikToks. And we're excited to see you next time. Have an amazing day, guys, and peace.